Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Big news! Boost Mobile is now sending experts nationwide to deliver and set up customers' new phones at home or work.
Wait, we're going on tour?
Not a tour. We're delivering and setting up customers' phones so it's easier to upgrade.
Let's get in the tour bus and hit the road.
No, not a tour bus. It's a regular car we use to deliver and set up customers' phones at home or work.
Are you a groupie on this tour?
We deliver and set up phones. It's not a tour.
Oh, you're definitely a groupie.
Introducing Store to Door. Switch and get a new device with expert setup and delivery wherever you're at.
Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com.
Here's an interview we did with Phil Summerill, who we sadly lost recently.
And an absolute legend and superstar of the past from Birmingham City, Phil Summerill.
Good evening.
Well, Phil, welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. Your first time on, and it's an absolute pleasure and an honour to have you here. You know, anybody who's ever strapped a Birmingham shirt to the back, to me, boom, you're a ledge. You came to Blues mid-60s?
Yeah, 63, 15 when I left school.
15 when you left school. Who signed you?
Gil Merrick.
Gil Merrick. You know, the old stand's named after him now, and, you know, boom. You almost never played for Birmingham City, did you?
No, that's right. I should have signed for Wolves, and after travelling to Wolverhampton, I didn't want to.
Don't blame you.
So my dad phoned up Don Dorman, who was chief scout then, and I went down for a week and scored a few goals, and they signed me after that.
And the rest is history.
The
rest is history. You hold 2 records at St Andrews. For one, the fastest goal scored.
Yeah, I believe it's 12 seconds.
12 seconds, and you score a goal. That is incredible. And for the fastest hat-trick, from the first goal to the third goal was?
7 minutes.
And that was against?
Hull City.
Hull City in the old Division 2.
And I think I made the other 2 as well.
So an impressive career.
Yeah. Well, it should have been better, put it that way.
Hey, come on.
Could have been a lot better.
Big yourself up, man.
You've got to realise in them days that there wasn't much coaching going on. Players didn't get individual attention and things. Games, they're more thorough about the games these days and about the opposition, where in my day it was just go out and play.
52 goals scored for Blues.
I believe so, yeah.
And just the one hat-trick?
3 hat-tricks with Birmingham.
3 with Blues, yeah?
Yeah.
Incredible.
I got a couple with Millwall as well.
I
left Millwall, and it was the first season in the Football League for Wimbledon, and I scored on my debut, and it was their first ever league win, and I think it was against Northampton Town.
So their first ever league win in the whole of the divisions in the history of the club. You scored their goal.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Brilliant.
Phil Summerill, ladies and gents.
Yeah, claim to fame.
You've had the clap off the Tilton Talk Show.
And I would imagine as well, Phil, back then the ball that you played with and the pitches that you played on was so much different to nowadays.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I went to watch Solihull Moors play the other week, and I couldn't believe how the ball pinged about. And then I watched Birmingham last season, and the ball is unbelievable now. It looks like it's got extra bounce in it, and obviously the pitches now are superb.
Yeah.
And if you can't play on those pitches, you wouldn't be able to play at all. I'd have loved to have played, at the level that these pitches and balls are now, and I think it's far easier. You don't have to worry about the bounce, don't get stuck in the mud, and the ball flows.
Oh, back in
and
the
I think that makes players have better skills.
And there's no laces in it, of course, is there?
To be honest, I don't think there was laces in my day either.
No, you play to the whistle, I agree.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
We've got our first caller on the line, and our first caller is Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
Hi guys, good evening, how are you all?
Yeah, we're all good, thanks. We're in the midst of a blues legend, Phil Summerill. Would you like to say hello?
Phil, lovely to see you. I can't say I've seen you live, but your stats show that you were one of the greatest goal scorers that we've had, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Lovely, thank you very much.
There you go, caller power.
Can I just read out a quick comment? Question for you, Phil, from a gentleman called Brett Stanley. Phil, please clear something up for me. I'm convinced your mum was my dinner lady at school. Ridpool Jr., is this true? It is a lifelong memory for me. I hope it's true.
It's a good chance it's true, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We lived in the Lee, which was round by Whittington Oval, and I think the Ridpool Road School's somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I think that's probably true, yeah.
Yeah?
There you go.
Excellent. There you go, Brett.
Blimey.
He's been hoping that that's true for a lifelong memory, so we can confirm that's true.
Right.
If you get the encouragement from the fans, and
Yeah.
I've known it with 48,000 in there against
Yeah.
Cardiff, the difference the crowd make.
Yeah.
And
To your performance.
to everybody's performance.
Yeah, okay.
It gives you a great big buzz,
Yeah.
you know, and you can run through brick walls and
Yeah.
whatever.
And that's what we. Yeah.
I think what you say is right, though, Phil. The players have got to raise the fans rather than the fans raise the players.
Well,
Which
there's
way round
nothing
is it,
more
Phil?
embarrassing when you can just hear just a single fan shouting out,
Yeah.
rather than everybody shouting together, because
Yeah.
that's what really lifts you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still don't know whether it's the players who've got to raise the fans or the fans who've got to raise the players, but I'm sure if the fans raise the players, it'll make a hell of a difference.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. I think, usually an early goal or a good passage of play early on usually gets the crowd lifted.
Well, back in the 70s,
But-
when you were playing, right, back in the late 60s or 70s, right? But back in the I didn't go till 1973. When did your career end at Blues? Have a gander on that page.
73, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's 73.
73.
Yeah.
I don't know,
last
but
night,
I mean, as a supporter, I go back to the Intercities Fair days and things like
Yeah.
that. Finals against Barcelona. I've actually been to Barcelona's ground and
Yeah, me
after
too.
seeing the Intercities Fairs Cup.
I did, mate, yeah.
I always said, like, used to get names like Sampdoria, Hipkiss, and the teacher used to say, "You're looking tired today, Phil." I said, "Well, I was at the game last night," and things like, and she said, "Did you learn anything?" I said, "Yeah, I learned a lot of geography." Knowing where Hipkiss and Sampdoria is from and all things like that. And those days were absolutely unbelievable. And the fans were there, it's sort of like well over 40,000, getting on to 50,000. It was incredible. And obviously, they were all standing there then.
The
those
sight
days.
of that cop.
Oh, yeah. Who was your favourite ever player as a fan? So watching from the stands, who did you like most when you watched the Blues as a fan?
So many. I mean, my first one was Eddie Brown, his cup final. There were so many good. Really say them. We used to have. There was a left winger, Harry Hooper, Bertie Auld,
I've heard that name.
Mick Hellowell.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy Bloomfield, Ken Leake, Jimmy Harris. So many great players.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Change. He wasn't even allowed on the pitch beforehand, because you'd cut the pitch up too much before the game. So there's those type of things.
Quick question from Craig Courtney, Phil. Who's your favourite player you ever played with and also against? So the best player you played with and
The
against?
best player I played with was Jimmy Greenough.
Yeah.
And the hardest player I played against was Norman Hunter from
Leeds.
Leeds, yeah.
Question here for you from Mark Andrew Adams. Phil, do you remember Quinton Little League 1989? You helped me get into Prudential Players. We did the double, played in Wood Lane, Harbour.
I should know Quinton Little League because I set it up.
There you go.
There you go.
There you are, Mark.
Life after football went on for me, and eventually I became Football Development Officer for Birmingham City Council. But in those early days, I was Football Development Officer. I was somebody in the Birmingham City Council decided to have a sports development, and I was in and about round that time, and I managed to get a job. We've sort of no background to anything. I suddenly was told about Little League football, and obviously they always had Little League basketball in America, and they got the plans and done it and changed it for football. And so what it was for kids who probably hadn't got great ability or lack of parent support, and they were guaranteed to play every week. So each team, after trials, would have 13 players, 9, 10s and 11s. Every player had to play at least half a game, and there was 3 matches every Saturday morning. And I set up about, I think, 8 little leagues and 3 girls' little leagues as well to go along with that. And it was absolutely fantastic. And people who know me, especially, really know where because I was very lucky, very, very lucky. I moved back in the Midlands in about 81, and there was more people unemployed than there were in work. Birmingham City Council set an unemployed football league up, and I managed a job for 6 hours, coming back from living Bromley in Kent, Millwall and Wimbledon. And when I came back, as I say, there was mass unemployment, and they set up this unemployed football league. And from there, it was 6 hours a week. From there, I got a job and managed to get work in the Acos Green area with all the unemployed people. And from there, I went on to be a football development officer in Birmingham City. Got my full coaching licence. I did Birmingham's Centre of Excellence for 2 seasons, but it got a bit much when I had to keep washing the kit and driving the minibus. And what really did it in the end, the players went into a shop and raided it, so I left. And then Peter Weave contacted me from the Villa, and I did 8 years at Villa's Academy. I know that, and I was never a Villa supporter, obviously. Life was good to me, and
I couldn't. I couldn't.
I think it was a great opportunity to develop my coaching skill, working with talented. There was a lot of talented, and I think the things that's just come out of Aston Villa now, because I put my house on some of the players making the grade, and they never even played. And I used to try and contact a few, and they, because of the abuse they took, they didn't, and they just packed up playing football, and only 1 or 2 of them actually progressed. Gary Cahill, Agbonda Hall, Boaz Mayo, and there was probably Callum Davenport, who went to Tottenham, and was Tottenham sold to Coventry, who sold him to Tottenham for 12 million. They were probably the only players in 8 seasons that actually made the grade. So there must have been a big problem somewhere at Aston Villa.
We've had a complaint that Phil has said Aston Villa
too
many times. Sorry.
I was punished as a young lad if I played up. My granddad used to take me down to the Villa because he was a big Villa supporter when I lived in King's Standing, and I had to go, and I was punished.
Was Trevor Rocky still there when you were?
Trevor was there. Yeah,
he was a character, wasn't he, Trevor Rocky? Or was he not?
I don't know.
He always comes over as quite loud.
You always seen characters. Mike Helliwell was a character. Jimmy Bloomfield was a character. I remember Malcolm Beard racing, because Mick Helliwell was so fast. He'd start at one end of the pitch, and Malcolm Beard would start at the halfway line, and they'd have a race to the other end of the pitch. But there were so many funny things that used to go on when I first joined Birmingham, and it was never serious until Joe Mallet come and changed the whole system and introduced coaching, and the experienced players, they couldn't do it, they couldn't handle it, because they were being actually organised. I don't know about characters.
Any pranksters? Would there be like pranks played on?
Oh,
yeah.
Too many to mention.
Yeah.
Kevin French said, would Phil knock down the main stand?
What's that mean?
The dinosaur of a stand that we've still got there.
I think he'd have to go, wouldn't he?
Yeah. If we could.
That's one listener we've lost then.
I actually remember the railway end. I remember that stand being built when I was probably 15 or 16, something like 17. Yeah. Before that, the steam trains used to come along, and you couldn't see nothing at the railway end, because in my days it used to blow across the pitch.
Nice. Craig says, did you set up the Kings Norton League as well?
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because apparently that's how he met and interviewed his sister.
Huh?
Need some more information on that one, I think.
Craig Courtney says, my dad said Phil was as rapid as a whippet when he played.
It's nice to know. I got all that mud slowing me down, though.
Back to what Craig was saying about his sister. He says, my sister was one of the young girls who was first involved in the game. He got her playing in the Little League, and she went on to spend over 15 years playing at B6 before doing some coaching. My dad remembers taking her to Pebble Mill for an interview.
Just shows. Actually, the first girls' little league I set up was the Yardley Little League, and this I should say, but Karen
Brady.
Karen Brady actually opened the first girls' little league in Yardley.
Right.
And there's a lot of stories. I went to which was an art school down Sparkbrook. I'm trying to get the name of it. It's called now. And I was promoting some football courses, and these three great big Asian lads come up to me, and I thought, oh God, what's going on here? And they were lads who first played in Ty's Little League when they were 8 and 9 years old, and when I saw them again, they were like 6 foot high, and I couldn't believe the difference. And they really gave me a really great welcome. So there are lots of things going on in the past that I've been linked with. So I'm really pleased about that.
Kevin Sampson says, Phil, what were your wages like in your day? I'm guessing not a lot.
I would say nothing compared to what today. I think the most I ever got was.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months on the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
12,000 a year, and that was at Millwall.
When was that? 70?
Well, the difference is, I mean, I was 15, went to Birmingham, and I was earning more than my dad. So, that's how it was.
What must it just have been like to walk down that tunnel for the first time ever?
It was so nerve-wracking, it was
as
unbelievable.
A City player.
It was so nerve-wracking, I couldn't tell you. I can't remember the first game because it was as if I was in a trance during the whole of the game.
Yeah. Bit surreal.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I always remember on the Monday morning when I was at Oundon training, and Joe Mallet, I was with the first team squad, and Joe Mallet said, "You go there with the reserves," and that was after my debut. So that's how impressive it must have been.
Is that where we trained then, Phil? Oundon Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it was
Okay.
Oundon Park, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Right up to the end of the 70s, that was.
Really, yeah?
Early 80s as well. Early 80s.
I remember it's at where Solihull Moors play now, up that way, wasn't it? Damson Lane, was it? The training ground?
Lane, yeah.
And then obviously we moved to Wast Hills after that, didn't we? So I remember that, but I didn't know we trained at Oundon Park.
But it wasn't actually Oundon Park. It was
set back a bit, wasn't it?
It was just down the road from the Bakerlight ground.
Okay.
That's where the Moors play now, on the Bakerlight.
That's it.
pitch.
Oh, okay.
And we used to walk from Oundon, the playing surfaces from there to Bakerlight for our lunch, because there was no lunch ever provided for players in those days. So there's a big change.
Kevin Sampson, Phil's asking, the best manager you ever played for? Who's the best manager you ever played for?
I can't say he's probably the best, but the most organised manager was Freddie Goodwin. Even though Fred got rid of me, I must appreciate him that he was thorough in what he did. And I also, when I went to Millwall and Gordon Jago was manager, he was really well organised. It's hard to say, really. I think probably, go with Freddie Goodwin.
Yeah, I started going. The first manager that I saw down there was Gary Pendry.
Oh, right.
1987.
Yeah.
What was it like in Barry Fry's days? You signed everybody, didn't you?
Yeah.
Anybody and everybody you signed.
Yeah. He was such a character, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a great character of the game, still is, obviously. But he did sign some good players, obviously. I think he signed 100 players, and I'd say a good 30% of them turned out to be quite good, didn't they?
And of course he took us to a final as well.
He did, yeah. That was a great day out in '95, when we beat Carlisle.
Yeah.
Was that the first ever golden goal that was scored?
It was the first ever golden goal.
Yeah.
Ray says, Phil, what was the training like, when you started?
I'll give you an example. The first team never saw a ball till Friday, but fortunately we had a Spanish coach, youth coach, Emilio Aldicar, and we used to have a ball all the time. But in them days, as I say, it was just run. Everything was physical, and they get the ball. Literally, they get the balls out on a Friday, or they would play a practice match, something like that. But nothing was done on, what systems to play and strengths and weaknesses of players and oppositions and things like that.
Yeah.
What did you think of the game today, and with people diving and rolling around every 5 minutes?
Is it really that bad? I don't know. I know it's hard to tackle these days because obviously you get a yellow card and then you're.
Yeah, the physicality's not the same, is it, as it used to be?
No, it's nothing to when I played. I mean, you just get. First thing was the fullback put the ringer into the terraces as far as he could. The centre halves will batter the strikers as hard as they could, and that's how the game would start.
Seriously, yeah.
Played against Larry Lloyd when I was playing for Millwall against Forest. I think it was their last game of the season, and we lost 1-0. And there was a cross from the left-hand side, and our own left back went to clear it, and he volleyed it into her own goal, so we actually lost the game 1-0. But Larry Lloyd battered me all day, and I said, "You're not doing it. You won't do it again." And I managed to get my own back, and he had a few stitches above the eye, and then after in the players' bar after he said, "Pass me a beer," and not in a nice way, so I took the top off the beer, handed him. I was unknown that the top of the bottle had actually come off, so there was a sharp edge. So when he put it in to drink it, he got this sharp edge, and after that he was chasing me around the bar trying to hit me with the bottle. And that's absolutely true. But the story was that Forest got to promotion, and they got to the first division. In the first season they won the first and became champion, and then after that they won the European Cup, and it was all from John Moore's own goal.
Of course, Trevor.
And of course, Trevor scored in
that famous head. Andy Monterio, how was the refereeing in the 70s compared?
I think it's far better today.
Yeah,
the referees just got away with murder. I'm sure that they favoured teams in those days. It certainly. And I don't think they had support, the referees and the linesmen in those days as they do as they have now. But I think the referees are far better. They know what they're looking for.
What's your thoughts on VAR?
I liked it at the start, but I'm so confused now. I think there's got to be daylight between the offside. There's got to be daylight between the forward and the defender.
Totally agree with that.
It's no good having centimetres or whatever. There's got to be daylight.
Yeah.
If there's daylight, he's onside
or
offside, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. If any part of your body is level with the player, you're onside.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And handball's ridiculous as well, isn't it?
Everything's ridiculous now.
Yeah.
It's so confusing. And it's spoiling the game.
But I think that's more to do with the rules, isn't it, than the actual VAR?
Yeah.
The VAR is just there to help them get to the right decision.
Yeah.
I
supported it when it first came out. But this season, with the new rules as well, I don't know.
A little bit confused, aren't they? Yeah. Right, questions flying in there. Mark Adams, was there any players you didn't go? You don't have to say.
No, I don't think there was.
No. Adam Wilkes wants to know if you ever met Jasper Carrott, out of interest.
Yeah, I met Jasper, yeah. I've met him a few times, actually, yeah.
Stephen Gill asked Phil what was his favourite.
Oh, favourite goal. It's got to be my very first goal. I think it was against Portsmouth. We beat them 5-2. It was actually with my right foot, because that was only for standing on usually. But I actually scored with my right foot. Debut goal, yeah. I think that Birmingham got off to a bad start, and he put 4 or 5 teenagers in, and we beat them Portsmouth 5-2.
Brilliant.
Okay, Mickey Darrell in those days, Mickey Bullock and people like that.
Didn't you say you were in a game as well when Trevor scored 4? And did you set them all up?
I can't say I set them all up. I set at least 3 of them up.
Yeah?
Yeah. The best one was when we was on a terrific run, and we played Cardiff, and it was absolutely rammed. People probably played 48,000, and we used to get paid gate money in those days. Every 1,000 over 25,000, we get an extra £1, and then if we get to 13, you go an extra £2 or £3. And I'm sure they fiddled it when they said there was 48,000. I'm sure there must have been 58,000.
Okay, the questions are still flying in. Mandy Irvin, what do you think about drinks breaks?
I've never had them, so I can't say.
Okay, Kevin Simpson. Phil, ever considered becoming a manager in the pro game?
Not really, no.
That one will do for that one. Mike Smith wants to know what you think of Jude Bellingham. Craig Courtney, Phil does a lot of work with the Ex-Players Association, but whose stories are the best?
I honestly don't know. I really don't know.
No worries. Mick Greaves, that's Phil the best player in the Premier League today.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, there you go. That's Phil's decision on that one. Does Phil think young players earn too much nowadays? That's from Graham
far
Haynes.
Too much.
Far too much.
My son worked for a Pro Zone, and his first assignment club was Manchester United, and he worked with Alex and Mickey Phelan and all those people, and he had to get all the stats into it. And he had this old Renault 5, and he was really embarrassed because all these young lads used to turn up in these baby Bentleys as if they'd already made the grade. And I think that's where it's gone wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
It's gone very wrong. Very wrong. Phil, whose boots did you have to clean from Ray Hobro?
Oh, I had 3 sets. I think one was Jimmy Bloomfield's, one was Alex Jackson's, and I can't remember the other one. No, I can't remember the other one. But we used to have to, and of course our boots, our own boots, were immaculate because we used to clean it, and obviously.
The scouting report's in. Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile. Get unlimited wireless for $25 a month forever and keep your phone. It's a veteran move. Unlock the savings at boostmobile.com/unlock. $25 forever. Requires customers to remain active on Boost Mobile Unlimited Wireless Plan. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
Do all the other things as well, but with Alex Jackson, he used to compare his boots with our boots and say, why aren't our boots as clean as your boots or as shiny as your boots?
Adam Wilkes wants to know the best goal you scored against the neighbours.
Well, probably the only one actually. We're 60-odd thousand, I think, in St Andrews. Yeah. And Colin Withers was in goal for Aston Villa, and obviously he was at Birmingham at one stage. And we're 0-0, and I scored the first goal, and I was 19 years old, and we beat them, I think, eventually 4-0.
Wow.
And on the evening, it was my mate's 21st birthday party in Great Bar. And it was absolutely fantastic because obviously you could imagine the Argus that evening.
Yeah.
And they're all Villa supporters because obviously Great Bar, that's where they all come from. Apart from the lad who's Les Burbage's whose birthday it was, he was 21. And so it was. I can still remember that now. It was a fantastic occasion, especially to score the first goal against Aston Villa.
What was the goal like? Header, volley?
Half volley tapping.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't matter how they go in.
No, don't matter, does it?
Don't matter.
I think it was a shot, and I just turned and reacted quickly, and just got there first and stuck it in. And I've still got the picture of the goal in my toilet at home.
Great place for it, that is.
It's
Go what, sorry?
It's a great place for it, isn't it, in his toilet?
Yeah.
I've got some fantastic pictures in there.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Kev Sampson, did you have a trademark celebration?
No, not at all. No, just arm pointed in the air and just traditional. Yeah.
So I'll try now, right? I just want to ask. I visualise now what it's like on a match day as a player in today's game. Obviously, you go there in your Bentley, you park up, you have a meal, obviously, as a group before the game. Was it like that back then? So did you sort of meet up before the game as a group and eat together before the game?
We met up. I think it was Freddie Goodwin bought the pre-match meal in at home.
Right.
Before that, you just travelled and got to the ground for 2:00.
Right.
So an hour before kick-off?
Yeah. And we used to, Freddie introduced a pre-match meal, and we used to go to the hotel in Solihull and just have,
What hotel was that?
Can't think of the name now.
Memory.
St John's, yeah.
Was it St John's?
St John's, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Still there?
Yeah, still there, yeah.
Still there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so you'd have a meal at the hotel.
Posh then.
Yeah.
And then you go to St Andrews from the hotel as a group on a coach or something?
No, they used to drive in your own car.
So you drive individually, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then you play the game.
And play the game. Pre-match meals in those days were chicken, eggs. And some used to have steak at one time.
Yeah.
At 12:00 before a 3:00 kick-off.
Ask Phil what it was like playing alongside Jimmy Greenough for one season and Fred Pickering up front from Kevin Skidmore.
Well, obviously that's a dream pair to play with. I just get the leftovers from them two, and hopefully that's when I scored a lot of goals, just getting on the end of the hard work that those two players actually did. But they were good players, excellent players. It's hard to say how good they are, really, but to me, though, they're absolutely fantastic.
Phil, what was your first car from Kev Sampson?
First car was a Ford Classic. I think it was £295 it cost me.
Mark Adams says, my dad told me stories of the early 60s of players legging it up the Digbeth, carrying boots and a fag.
I remember when I was a player, players used to, when that's obviously an apprentice doing the dressing rooms, and you've got to be in there at half time, and players would actually light up at half time.
Right, yeah.
In those days.
Wow. I'm just trying to imagine them doing it now, imagine.
I'll try, yeah.
Sorry,
because used to do a cartoon piece in the Evening Dispatch, whether people remember that paper or not.
I don't personally.
And I played for Aston Boys, and we were 2-0 down. We beat them 3-2 in the English Schools Trophy, scored all 3 goals, and they did these cartoon features, and it said about Phil Summerill, he said a clear case of dropped H's.
So what do you do with life nowadays then, Phil?
Nothing.
Retired?
I was fortunate I retired when I was 56.
Right.
So that's like 15 years ago. Yeah, it's been great. Played, I was a member at Kings Norton Golf Club for 35 years, member of Cop T for a couple of years, and now just able to wander across the road to Whitney Manor and play a few times there a week.
Super.
So it's great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you're still actually playing football?
No, golf.
Golf.
Golf, I think.
Golf.
No,
Yeah, sorry.
no. Knees. I had the knees replaced 15 years ago. My ankles have gone now, so there's not much chance of me playing football anymore.
When did you last play football?
Oh, I've no idea. So long ago.
Yeah.
It's so long ago.
When you played your last game for Blues, did you know that the writing was on the wall for you there at that game?
Probably before that.
Yeah.
I got left out of the tour to America, so I knew the writing was on the wall.
Right. Okay.
And so what? Probably the worst decision I ever made going to Huddersfield, because I know it was a deal done between Freddie Goodwin and the Huddersfield manager, which was his big mate at the time. I can't think of his name at the moment. And the deal was done, and I know it was done because then Birmingham signed Dennis Clark from Huddersfield, his right back, I think.
Yeah.
Part of the deal.
Part of the deal. No, it was after I'd gone, so I
Okay.
knew.
How much did you go for?
I think it's 50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot then, though, isn't it?
It was a fair amount.
I'd
Then,
say,
yeah. That was another thing about Freddie Goodwin. If your face didn't fit, you were out. Johnny Vincent was a great player, and he never got a look in. He was probably would have gone on to play for England, and he was so talented. Freddie Goodwin come, and he never played him.
Really?
And he went off to Cardiff.
Your sell-on fee, did you get a cut out of it? Did
No.
they? No.
No.
So that didn't happen back then. So there was no player power until such
No.
time as
No,
him with the big.
there was
big-
no.
What was his name?
Players used to talk about a brown paper bag, but I never got one.
Right.
What was the best stadium you ever played at? Hopefully St Andrews. but
Great
other than
story.
St Andrews.
Old Trafford, replay of the cup. I think Dave Robinson scored a penalty at St Andrews, and we went and had the replay at Old Trafford, and we were winning 1-0, and they got a really dodgy penalty. It was a dodgy penalty. In the end, we got beat 6-3, but I managed to score a left-footed half volley right in the top corner past Alex Stefano, and I think there was 63,000 in the ground.
Wow. Who was playing for them then, like Charlton and Best? And
All the big ones, yeah.
yeah.
Ladies and gents, Phil Summerill, thank you very, very much indeed.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months on the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.